All right. We are here bringing you the Night Owls.
5, 4,
Four,
3,
three.
2, 1. Come on now, shoot, 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 shoot. Night owls all day, all night. Night owls, that's us. And go,
Mm.
go, 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 go. All
No
right.
copyright.
No, you can't copyright that. We just wrote it, so that's
Uh,
it. That's it. We
what's
should
up,
just do a
everyone?
remix like that every single time. That's how
We
we should
should, bro.
every announcement. All right,
हाँ,
here we go, man. Captain Red Flags
yeah, तुम्हें तो पता है हमें सिंगिंग और डांसिंग का कितना शौक है.
and shoot and shoot.
Yeah, कुछ कुछ होता है. Anyways, यहाँ पे बहुत कुछ होता है. This
बहुत
is
कुछ
the
होता है.
Night Owls from Radio Azad. We are here in Irving.
That's right.
And
You are listening to us
the
through the
reason
app
why
store.
reason why I emphasize from that क्योंकि स्टूडियो सेम है, लेकिन मुझे रियलाइज हो रहा है कि हमारी डालस टेक्सास की कम्युनिटी कितनी बढ़ गई है. And if you are listening to us from Irving or anywhere from the DFW Metroplex, we have so much in store for you. I think Sean, can you let them know what today's topic is about, and
Yeah.
I'll kind of like let you know why I thought of it.
So tonight's topic is all about Captain Red Flags. This season 5, is all about superheroes. We pick different superheroes every week and we highlight some of their attributes, but also
Yeah.
some of their challenges. You know, it's kind of like
Yeah.
Hancock. Like Will Smith did a great job in that movie where he was a superhero, but he was severely flawed.
Right.
And so we made that the topic of our season. And this topic tonight is something I'm really excited about. But
Yeah,
it's about
I'm super excited about that as well.
Captain Red Flags.
Captain Red Flag. And I think when I went to the rally, the
Yes.
protest, this Sunday, by the way, it was a great turnout and it was so good to see. It was my first time ever protesting. That's why I think I
Amazing.
felt it a little bit more.
Of course.
I'm a little bit more passionate about it. It's new for me completely, and it made me realize how positive experience, how much of a positive experience it is
Yeah.
to see the same kind of energy and the people, having the same kind of compassion around you.
Yeah.
So I think I got to learn a lot on that scale, but all I saw was flags, right? And I saw the Palestinian flag, of course. बहुत प्यारा लग रहा था. It was beautiful, and the day was beautiful in the sense that it was sunny, and the colors were just reflecting everywhere, and it just made me think, कि हम कितनी efforts डालते हैं अपने nation की symbol create करने में,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then हमारे अंदर भी वही type के flags होते हैं, right? जो values या जिन चीजों पे हम believe करते हैं, for what we stand for, basically that's what represents our flag, right?
Yeah.
Or that's what it symbolizes or supposed to symbolize. And it just made me think that maybe this is a good episode,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of flags that we also carry ourselves, and how we can identify other people, should they be aware of it, or it doesn't matter, it's a lost cause, or like how does it work. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
excited to hear your take on or at least your opinion on the topic, because
Yeah.
it's a little bit different than what we do usually, because
Yeah.
we're actually talking about a symbol here or sign instead
Yeah.
of just people, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think what happens is whatever flags you raise, it says something about you. It says something beautiful. It illustrates a beautiful story, number one, and or a story about strife or challenge or history or whatever it might be. A lot of times we see red flags in the flags that other people carry because we turn those stories into judgments. And I think that is something that we need to do a little bit more
I love that.
introspection about, right?
Yeah.
Like once you think through it, you're like, hey, like this person's carrying this flag, right? Like, well, it's not a red flag, it's a blue flag hanging out the left side.
Yeah.
That's the Crip side. And you kind of you have a story, you have representation, you feel seen, you feel heard, and then you have the world that reacts to that flag, one way or the other. And so I think it's important for us to kind of like understand those biases, where those stories come from, and why we should be proud of the flags that we carry. And we should know the stories of the flags that we carry.
Exactly. We should know why we have those flags.
Yeah.
I think it's a really, and even though we're jumping right into it, but speaking of red flags, I think a lot of people, or people that are quote unquote red flags or do things that are quote unquote red flags, I think too often they continue to stay red flagged, is because people don't kind of see them wanting to change. But then it brings that in my attention as to why it is so important for people seeing, for, that someone is changing.
Yeah.
I feel like there's no need. I feel like you have to just continue to do, or continue to, if you're aware of being a red flag, or if you know of someone who is a red flag or does things that are red flags, then they might be someone you love or someone you know. I don't even think that sometimes it's in anyone's favor to point out that red flag,
Yeah.
because the person who doesn't want to see any flags on themselves but only on others, I don't think they even realize that they are carrying any red flags. So I think
Mm.
with Captain Red Flag, or even our country's flags, different international flags, I think they all, besides just having a story, I think it's really about, this is what I really like for America, what does it represent? Is more than just stars and stripes and like blue and white and red. I think it's more to do with what, like our Constitution. Okay, these are the people that believe in the Constitution and want to follow this Constitution. That's why we have that symbol.
Well, why don't we get into that? Like,
Yeah,
let's talk about the flags that we both carry.
yeah.
So one of the flags in your pocket is the American flag,
Mm.
right? So what does the American flag mean to you?
Yeah, I feel like that's exactly what I just, defined, that, people that follow the Constitution, or not just follow the Constitution, they're okay with the Constitution,
Yeah.
in a sense that they would, exercise their right to make it better, or, to keep being on their side. Basically, it's kind of like a pledge. It's kind of like a loyalty. It's what you stand for, right?
Yeah.
So I totally see that, and I see that pretty much everywhere. And what made me realize it even more, what got, into my head even more, is those colors, and just enough flag lehrata hai, the way it sways, and it waves in the air is beautiful, right? And
Yeah.
it could be any flag, but it gives you that type of feeling of liberation. Okay, like, oh, there's something in the air, that's solitary, solitary. But it's also a huge symbol for all of these people that believe in that cause, or that believe, or that are supporters of that cause, or and it could just be the same thing with our personalities as well. So the people that we might think are red flags might just have different values, and they just are standing by what they believe,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and vice versa. So I think when we start to think that it becomes a problem to everyone else how we are thinking, and we need to, instead of identifying it, if you care to identify it, nobody's pressuring nobody to identify, but if you care to identify it, you would actually want to change the color of the flag, because that is probably not what you stand for. That is probably not what you mean, but you just have not seen it from the other side.
Oh, yeah, or that's the thing, is like I feel like people feel like they're limited because they carry one specific flag, that they
Yes,
can't carry another
yes,
one.
yes.
Bro, find your flag. One thing that I wrote, and I had this epiphany when I was hanging out with you last week, I think, or the week before, and I said, find your interest, and in there you will find your community.
Yeah,
Go
absolutely.
go seek the thing that's seeking you
Yeah,
out, and you'll find
absolutely.
people around you. You'll build a community around that, and that's second, third, fourth, fifth flag.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're red flags, right?
Yeah, more
Because
than flags, I think it should be feathers in your hat, like it
yeah,
should be considered as feathers in your hat.
yeah,
So even your tough times, or even the times that you don't understand yourself, or no one understands you, and
yeah,
you are just feeling misheard, unheard, unvalidated,
misunderstood.
yeah, misunderstood, all of
Yeah,
those things. I don't think you just stop there. I think you look for what other does life have to offer. I'm sure it must have something else good to offer. खुदा ने कितनी चीजें बनाई है, आपका दिमाग इतना unlimited है. So why is it that we only get stuck on that red flag, or even others only get stuck on that red flag? I think it is a very mirroring kind of a thing,
yeah.
to where you can probably identify someone's red flags either because you've experienced it yourself, you've seen it in someone else, or you might recognize it in yourself. It cannot just happen out of nowhere. You have to have some knowledge of that, right? Some
Yeah, I
knowledge of the
think,
red
yeah,
flags.
I mean, I think a lot of times the certain flags that we carry also have a predisposition to want to judge others too,
Absolutely.
right? So
Yes.
like,
Yes. Absolutely.
especially, I don't know, especially these days with, the American flag, right?
Yeah.
The American flag to me means, at least, the basis of the American flag for me is freedom, right?
Right.
It's religious freedom, the freedom to be able to not be so constricted by the government, but the government is actually used to protect you, to defend you and your rights around the Constitution and things of that sort. Your speech, right? Your actions, but a lot of times it's challenging to do that. And I think today when we see, especially with this next 2024 election, all these things
Mm.
coming up,
Yeah,
you
man.
saw it this last weekend at the, Palestine versus Israel. I don't know if there was anti-press. Did you see any anti-protesters there?
Yeah, well, actually, there were two
Yeah,
people,
yeah. Usually,
and
yeah. That's the
there were
last time it
just two
was
people.
just two as well. Yeah, or four people, but
But I
not all that.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah, there was this other guy that was also like leaning on the light pole, with a cup of Starbucks, like in front of everyone else that was like gathered together. So I was like, man, that really shows white privilege. Like that guy looked like he was untouchable. He was just sipping his coffee and like looking at everyone else like we're fools, you know?
yeah, of course.
That yeah,
But
exactly.
that's the whole point is like the thing turns when you start creating entitlement to yourself,
Mm,
especially in these pockets,
mm,
then the flag, like the Israeli flag or the American flag, starts becoming a symbol of white supremacy.
mm.
And that changes and taints the entire picture of what the flag is supposed to be.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
When people then say, you know what, I own that flag. That's actually my flag, and you're just privileging yourself because of my flag.
Yeah.
And then a group of people own that flag and start using that flag and weaponize that flag.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like that level of non-inclusivity then creates.
Sean, I love this so much because literally, I think that's the exact same thing that happens to people with red flags.
Yeah,
Because when they're called out
that's
on
the red
the,
flag.
yeah, when they're called out on the red flag,
Yeah.
instead of backing it up that, hey, my life has been like very difficult, or this is all the stuff that I've had to go through in my life. How about you take a step back,
Hmm.
Take a step back and really recognize what color is it? Is it really red? Or you're just thinking it's red, or they're
Or
just
what
thinking
happens
it's red.
is every flag has a red flag that backs it,
Probably.
right?
Hey,
And
I love that even more,
yeah,
Sean.
so you
Yes,
say,
that's
look, like,
brilliant.
are you actually representing this flag, or are you do you have a red flag behind your flag? If
Mm-hmm.
you have a red flag behind your flag, dude, you're not getting what this flag is really all about, right? Like, when you think about the United States, you think about the Statue of Liberty, right? It was a gift that was given, and it was give me your sick, give me your poor, right?
Mm,
It is the country of immigrants. It doesn't belong to anybody. It belongs to the Native Americans, right? And
mm,
then we came in and for religious freedom and gentrified and do whatever we needed to do and take this country for whatever, and then we have this natural moat that's around it, and we want to protect our freedoms more than anything.
mm.
And the ability to protect our freedoms is also to give freedom to others.
Yeah.
That's really what the flag is. And when
Mm,
you take freedoms away from other people because of Islamophobia or because of white supremacy or because of whatever it is, dude, like you're representing something that is completely against what the flag is supposed to be
yeah.
symbolized and
Exactly.
designed to do
Exactly.
in the first place.
Exactly. Exactly. I love that. Yes, it's supposed to unite people.
Yes,
So I think flags,
solidarity, man. You were talking.
solidarity,
Yeah,
I think that's a solitary, but yeah, solidarity is what I was looking for.
yeah.
But yeah, solidarity for sure. And when more people support that cause or more people support those values, you either realize that they're different than others or they're the same as us,
Mhm.
right? Are we able to resonate with that? Are we able to relate that? Are we able to justify our actions based on our history, right? Whatever we have learned up until now. And I really feel like we have learned pretty much nothing from history. Nothing. I don't think we will ever learn anything from history. I think we should just stop talking about history. Like, forget it, guys. No point. You're just, at this point, everyone's just bragging
It's just
about,
a
oh,
remix of history.
yeah, for real. At this point, everyone's just bragging about how my ancestors were so cool and my ancestors were so cool. Nobody wants to do it no more. So forget it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. We and back in the day, I would think that people don't know or didn't do anything about the Holocaust because they did not have the knowledge, they did not have the information. And now, as an adult, much informed adult, I feel that even though you have the knowledge, or even though we have the knowledge, we just have to wait around. We just have to wait around and just keep praying to God, and everyone's God, not a Jewish God or a Muslim God, everyone's God. That whoever you are, you need to bring peace on this planet, because we are kind of going psycho, man. We are literally doing things that we show in movies and cartoons, villains doing. and we're doing it. Not us as people, because us as people, I think we are really becoming aware amongst each other at least, showing compassion amongst each other at least in whatever capacity you get the opportunity to. We are doing that, right? But I think on the higher level, we are not even anywhere close or going to get close to that. And it's really frustrating, Sean. It's really frustrating when this is a huge red flag behind the American flag, and not just American flag, but I think anybody that supports the idea of killing innocent people, whether it's from this side or that side, it doesn't matter, guys. We are all humans. I don't know when the heck are we ever gonna understand this.
Yeah, I mean, and to give credit to the United States, I think that like if I were to be a prisoner of war for any country in the world, I would love to be a prisoner of war for the United States because, we I think, Guantanamo's pretty bad. I get that, but like, there's other countries that are just way more brutal and they would torture and like do all these
Yeah,
bad things. So, I
for
mean,
sure.
we are bad, but we're not the worst, right?
No, my point is not to hate on that at all.
Yeah, yeah,
I love my country. I love where I am. I love who has made me. I'm indebted, to the soil because of that, right?
absolutely, absolutely.
So there is no doubt in that. But I think you also have more complaints from someone or something that you are more attached to or you had better expectations from.
Yeah,
So
I mean, we have to do better. Like,
yeah,
dude, the whole point of being an American is we are meritocratic. We
yeah,
have to be the best in everything that we do in the
right,
world. We're
right.
only three and a half, like we're 350 billion, a million people in a planet of 8 billion. And we run the entire planet,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
All the data, all the pop culture, all the cool music, everything comes from the United States. Most of it does, right? And we have to keep staying on top, and the way to do it is by challenging ourselves, our neighbors, our government to do better constantly. You just have to. Like, it is not in human nature to not use our limbic system constantly and constantly be at war.
Yeah, see, ultimately, I feel like it really starts from fixing up yourself or figuring out yourself or your life to contribute to any other part of the society or even your friends or even your family. I think you have to really focus on yourself. If you're unable to do that and if you're not a healthy individual, even if you're trying to help, you're only going to create a mess, because you don't even have your own life in control. So when you don't have your life in control, and I'm really speaking from experience right now. When you don't have your own life in
My life's
control.
a mess, guys.
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
No,
Shukr,
I'm with you. I'm
alhamdulillah.
with you.
But this is because I am not offended by my experiences anymore. I am
Yeah.
not ashamed of my experiences anymore. I am not, hard on myself for my experiences anymore. That is my life. I own it. I have to go through all the types, variety of things in life. That is what life is about. And it's not different than all of you guys or anyone else next to me as well. All of us have the same life, guys.
My life is like a burning dumpster fire, guys. Don't worry. It's not
Yeah,
that,
it doesn't matter.
but I'm really lucky. I'm
Yeah,
super lucky. I
because
love
see,
my
the
life.
point is you learn, or even if you don't learn, move on, you have to move on. You cannot just stay stuck. So I think it's a really,
I'm gonna replay this for both of us all the
really
time.
big
Move
flag.
on, man. Move on. Life goes on, man.
Yeah, I mean
Move along with it, bro.
it's supposed to be a buffet, where you're like spending maybe like 2 hours trying out all the dishes. You're not gonna just take a bite of each thing and be like, okay, this is good. I paid $100, all good.
Did you,
No,
did you hear Azad's Firefly?
no.
Oh my God, it was so
Oh
brilliant. It was
yeah,
so
oh
beautiful, bro.
yeah. Wow.
He said, take, can I tell?
Yeah, go
He
for it.
said, take the example of a firefly where, a firefly only, or not firefly, a fruit fly. A
Yeah,
fruit fly lives for 2 to 3 days.
yeah,
You leave an old banana out, a few days later, it just shows up. And that fruit fly is like, dude, I've seen everything. I've seen it all.
yeah,
I know the fruits. I've seen these humans, how they argue with each other.
yeah.
I've been to the
Mm,
kitchen, to the living
amazing.
room, and back. And 2 days later, it's over.
Mm,
And they think that their life is so significant. And the
exactly.
things that they have thought about is just like the most profound, amazing things.
Yeah,
And then it's over.
exactly.
And
But
the
we
greater
don't.
context of things is like, did it really,
Yeah,
did it
but
really
we
matter?
don't have that problem.
Yeah.
See, we actually get to groom ourselves, we get to age with wisdom, we get to learn and adapt, and we're curious, and we like to experiment with our bodies and our minds, so we're like really awesome creatures, almost mythological, if, to all these other species, like these guys are gods, like you had told me once. And I always think about you every time I switch the flip of the light. Because
Dogs are like, what? This wizard? What is he? They just make food come out of nowhere, and
yeah,
like they
I
control the water, the light.
I never thought about that until it was, for my bird. And he was like, dude, do you think, Rain thinks that you're a god? I was like, why would he think that? And then now that I do it, he brought it to my attention, like, because like you provide electricity or like you turn it on or, whatever. So yeah, we're really those type of creatures, for other beings. But we really downplay our power, based on the circumstances that we live through. We feel like that is what defines our life, right? And that does not define your life. It is everything that how you've overcome, or how you're trying to overcome it, or even if you haven't overcome, like what has it been? What has it made you? And I don't think people really care about what they become or what they're, made for or anything of that nature. I think they're so both in a negative in regards to what they don't have. And sometimes they have everything, but they don't have the motivation, or they don't have the good mindset. So these are also flags. These are also awarenesses. These are also things that you're standing with and standing by. And until and unless you continue not to, you cannot not do it. आपने अपना झंडा गाड़ दिया है.
You know what's crazy is I heard a statistic last night. It was Elon Musk. He was talking about how you know how long we have left until our sun burns out?
No.
500 million years.
No, that's a lot.
Okay.
Long time.
It's actually not a lot at all.
Oh yeah.
Because Earth started like 4 billion years ago,
Huh.
4.5 billion
So
years
we're at
ago.
the end of it
So we're at
almost.
the end, man.
Oh,
And if
dang.
we don't become a
Insane.
multi-planetary species,
Yeah.
like and it's funny because like you can look in any direction, right? And you could try to find life, but a lot of those planets are either already gobbled up by their stars, because their stars are like, evolving and things of that sort.
This is so cool. I
Yeah.
did not think Captain Red Flag would turn in like to the conversation. Talk to me more about it. Tell me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I feel like that's a red flag that that Elon Musk is putting up for everybody to say, hey, man, like you think that 500 million years is a lot, and it's not. It's like literally like less than 1/10 of how old the Earth is. Less than 1/10 of how old the Earth is. And so, if you look like 45 million light years ago, or 45 million years ago at Earth, right? If you look at a star that's 45 million light years away, you'd look back and you'd see dinosaurs.
Wow.
Because light is just hitting, the opposite, right?
This is so crazy.
Yeah.
I love this so much, but it's so mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
Because you said if you look at the star, like
Yeah.
if you were, look from that star, that's
Yeah. Let's looking
40,
back at you.
yeah, 48 million
light years
So
away.
can
Yeah.
you then travel in time? Like, I mean, would that be a possibility? I mean, physically, probably not.
Yeah.
But would it be like,
Well, the only thing that moves faster than light is space, right? Because if you think about the Big Bang Theory, right? Like space moved way faster than light. And so the whole thing about wormholes is you can condense space and then you can use space travel to manipulate time travel.
this is such a Rick and Morty moment? Yeah, we should have
Come on,
been that.
Morty.
We should have been that for Halloween.
Why can't we do it next year? That's perfect.
That is perfect.
You
We
gotta
gotta
just
do that.
but you gotta get your Ajis. Can you do your Ajis?
No,
Oh, jeez.
no, but I'll
Oh,
figure it
jeez.
out. I'll train myself.
Friggin' Morty.
We have to have the drool on you.
And what the drool represents.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
man.
anyways, coming back to coming back to Earth, literally, I used to make fun of the fact that why are we seeking life or trying to sustain life, and this makes more sense,
Yeah.
that at least we should begin, and even if we are not able to sustain it, we'll know at least in 500 million years तक हमें पता चल जाएगा.
Well,
You know,
before that, way
whether
before
we-
that, before that, something's gonna hit the Earth, right? Like
Yeah.
something catastrophic will eventually happen. Like not a joke, but Uranus can get like off tilt and start moving toward or the Earth,
Uh,
and can collide into the Earth. There's a possibility of that happening. So there's a lot of things that would create an existential crisis, a red flag.
yeah, insane.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I think I love Earth too much.
I love Earth too,
Mars,
man.
Mars would be like a
I
made
don't think
up
it would be fun to be an
wannabe
introvert.
Earth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you
No
think it's
OG.
fun? You think it'd be fun to not be on Earth? Heck, no, no. I want to be on Earth.
Yeah.
EARF, Earth. Give
Yeah.
me, yeah, man. I
For
want
real.
this soil. I want these random,
Trees.
yeah,
Yeah.
yellow paint.
Yeah.
When are we gonna paint the studio? I should you paint the studio already.
Imagine a radio as always on Mars.
It would look like this.
Yeah, we should keep it OG forever.
Oh my
Classic.
gosh. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. For a
But see,
PPT.
then at that point we would have flags for like each planet.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wouldn't
yeah. That's
that
what I'm
be
saying.
insane?
Yeah, that's the other thing is like man, Elon Musk talked about this too. He said, look, as long as humans exist, war will exist. As long as
Mhm.
other species exist, war will always exist amongst other species. Chimpanzees, flowers, plants, it doesn't matter. Everyone's at warfare right now, and we don't even know it. And that's why they create like defense mechanisms and things of that sort, because they were eventually at
I
war.
love those defense
Some,
mechanisms.
yeah, something was constantly getting eaten, and they're like, dude, we got to protect ourselves because
Yeah.
we're getting eaten as a species.
Yeah.
Okay, let's create venom. Let's create something, and then that becomes an important gene, and then helps the species survive.
How
And
fascinating is that, man? That's
yeah, it's
insane.
evolution, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that's like how I think about the world and life and all that stuff. I don't think not many people think about these things.
Like no, but I do, but I don't know how to break it down the way you break it down.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like so fascinating to me. Like the way you're like, yeah, dude, these
Yeah.
genetic, defense mechanisms, I think we have that in our personality too.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's where we identify what red flags are truly red flags, because
Ah,
we see it as something that's threatening our existence or threatening our
threatening our
speech.
existence. Okay, yeah.
That's why we identify red
Gotcha.
flags as red flags. Is because we're just
Gotcha.
like, dude, like that's not cool. I don't want that.
So,
No.
do you think red flags are opinions or do you think red flags are personalities?
I think they're both, right? Because either one affects you, and the core part of you that either wants that genetic species to move on or not.
Yeah, it's just like automatic defense
Dude,
mechanism.
I mean, like you look at this Israel versus Palestine thing,
Yeah.
they do not want the Palestinians to have a gene pool to carry on into the
Yeah.
next generation,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, that's genocide, and that's real, but there's something that's so deep within the Israelis that they know, or the Zionists or whoever, that they know, even though that's happened to them, knowing what history has taught them, they still don't care, and they still want, and white people here want that. Like a lot of people want that to happen to this small group of 2.2 million people. And you think, why? Like,
Yeah, so okay, let me tell you, at the rally, one of the preachers was saying, how can you love God and not love the children of God?
yes,
First, okay. Second thing, he also mentioned, if Jesus was here right now, he would side with Palestine, or he would stand
of
up for
course,
Palestine. He would
of
stand up for Palestine.
course.
So, no, but even today, like someone on my Facebook had posted something, why if you are a real true Christian, you should support Israelis right now, as it says in the Bible. So I was like, okay, what does it say in the Bible? Like, I want to know, does it really say like that? And it said nothing like that in the Bible. Like the things that they were saying, they were completely off. They were like emotionally kind of like manipulated.
Do you remember what it said? Like
No,
a paraphrase?
not exactly, but okay, let me try. So it said something about how Jews were Jews were the first religion, the Abrahamic religion, and from the son of I guess Abraham and Sarah,
Mhm.
Isaac, and he was like the first one. Moses was the first one, so we have to follow, and through him Jesus came.
Mhm.
So that's why we have to continue to follow Christianity, and Christianity in the New Testament also says, okay, what did it say about the land given for the Jews,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And that, but nowhere did it say that that part geographically of the planet is the part where it has, like been assigned. Like this is
Mhm.
what's been assigned. I think that was kind of stolen and not assigned
Mhm.
because UN assigned you that. Bible did not assign you that. If Bible assigned you that, Bible would have a map. Bible would say it's right here. Bible's not gonna make you kill other people, and that's what drives me insane. That Jesus would never want to hurt another person. You talk about love, and automatically Jesus is one of the first figures that comes to mind, one of the first symbols that come to mind, right? Love, non-violence. That's Jesus. He died for you. Why would he kill other people? How does it even make sense? How would they say how would he be okay with
Dude, you need to
this?
make a clip off of this.
Yeah,
That's so good. That's so good.
makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense. It's asinine. Yeah, yeah. No, I don't.
And they're dividing, Jews with Christians or Christians with Jews, man. Everybody should stand together. Why does it matter what your neighbor worships or who they worship or what their God is? As long as they're good with you, keep good relations with your neighbor, whether they're good Christians, Jews, Sikh or Muslims or whatever it is, Hindus, whoever.
That is a very American and Muslim thing that you just said.
Yes,
Keep
exactly.
the peace, man.
Keep
That's
the
what we
peace and
do.
yeah, keep the peace. And why did you create America? On basis of what? On the basis of the fact that more people, people, diverse community can be established, and that's the reason why people are smart over here because the population is diverse. If you take diversity out of it, all of America's smartness would be like done, bro. I'm telling you, and it has nothing to do about with races, but the fact that we learn each other's cultures. We want to travel. We want to know more. We're more curious. We're more experimental. So we are getting all those values, and that is what we're seeing our flag as.
Mhm.
And that's not what you're showing us. From the other side, carrying the same flag, they're using it for a different reason. So it makes you feel some type of way, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the same clash that happens between personality as well. That maybe some person is valuing something else that is completely mind-boggling to you, and you can't help but think, are we really supposed to be raising the same flag? And maybe not, right?
Makes me feel some type of way.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't. I mean, there's got to be compassion, and you have to be able to, because you think about all these groups, right? And Facebook is a group, like all these different media channels that you're hearing all this stuff from, and it does remind me of the Trump days again. And we're about to get into it again,
Yeah,
in
man.
24. But
This
the
time a
Trump
lot more
days.
people are armed.
Yeah, well, no, they were still armed. They just didn't
Yeah.
do anything. Now they're like excited and armed, because
Yeah.
we saw a little example of that in January 6th. But you know,
Habibi recently was sorry, I don't know if you know, but I think in one of the states, a couple of kids got shot in college, because they were wearing the kafaya, the
mm,
Palestinian kids, just
mm,
because they were wearing that, they just got shot. Two kids today, I think I saw that. Yeah,
that's
in
crazy,
United
man.
States, it was in one of the colleges.
Crazy, man.
Yeah,
No, it makes sense.
insane.
You know, I think what we did in 2016 is we tried to really listen to Trump supporters and, why they, like, dude, we messed up. I guess like Hillary messed up. Something happened, the middle of the country, they don't have jobs. They're having an opioid crisis. They're all these manufacturing plants are being shut down and everything's getting sent over to China, and Mexico and all these other places. And this was the first time in a long time that Middle America got a voice and
Hmm.
that they got somebody that represents them. And we're listening to all this BS trash, right? And I think it's true, okay, to a certain point. I,
Yes,
I agree
I agree to certain, I agree to it to a certain degree.
to a certain
Yes,
degree.
yes.
And I'm doing the same thing listening to all these people talk about, how this is, this is Hamas's fault. And,
Yes,
like we're talking about all these things. And it's like, man, when you come back to really understanding what this is really all about, it's not
bilkul,
it is
bilkul.
it is the same
Yes.
gaslighting as what was happening in 2016. This is just an early I guess an early showcase of
Hmm.
how everyone is getting gaslit into thinking that this has something to do with
Exactly. This is political propaganda.
anti-Semitism
Yeah,
or Islamophobia. It's not, man. All it is a group of people, political people that have come together that had historically stolen some land and said, "Yep, this is mine now." And there's special interests in the United
yeah, and
States
they
that are
want
also
to
backing it.
divide everyone.
Yeah, they are saying, "Cool, man, this is the right thing to do historically. This is the right thing to do." And everyone's just kind of like confused by it, and they're just like, "But is this not the definition of genocide? Like, is
Yeah,
this not
yeah.
like what?" And everyone's like, "No, no, we got a point here." And while they're trying to argue this through and gaslight everybody, people are getting carpet bombed, and like tens of thousands of kids have been
Yeah.
like just obliterated, man, off
Almost
the
10,000 kids, I think.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
10,000 kids. Sorry,
yeah.
yeah, tens of thousands. Tens of, like, but a lot of people are like I think
Yeah, I think
70% of Gaza is completely is either uninhabitable or has been removed from their home, so displaced. And that's too much, man.
that is way too much. And this brings me back to how our societies or the people in the society are so gullible in a sense where if you just show them a flag, they have their blind faiths or like their blind
Biases.
biases and blind allegiance
Hmm.
to those flags,
Yeah.
and yes, while you should have loyalty and allegiance, but you should also have morality
Yeah.
somewhere deep down. Search for it this Christmas. Maybe it's under the tree. I don't know.
Yeah. That's an
I'm
interesting thing,
sorry.
man. But yeah,
Yeah.
can you imagine? There's like a Christmas tree behind the American flag.
Yeah, and I mean, all of these things are so beautiful. I still remember as a young guy, like younger guy. I'm still young, but as a younger guy in my teens, I used to be working at the mall. And Christmas would be like our most horrific time, quote unquote, at that time because you'd be working like long
Oh
shifts and
yeah,
long
14-hour
hours.
days. Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy back then. But I still remember, the smell of like apple cinnamon candles and the garlands they put everywhere or like the decorations and
Was your store in front
people
of a
would
Bed Bath and Beyond or something?
no, it would just be I think everywhere.
Bath and Body
I think
Works.
it was in front of a Cinnabon. Maybe that's
That's right. That's right.
I love Cinnabon.
Oh, man.
Shout out.
You love Cinnabon, man.
I love
You
Cinnabon.
and Rosie. You know Rosie,
Oh really?
Sergio's wife, loves Cinnabon. I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know anybody
But
that
see,
goes to Cinnabon for fun.
I only like Cinnabon. Everything else don't worry, guys. You can't do it.
Oh my God.
But speaking of, it's such good memories, right? Like you would go and you would shop and you would be off from school and all of those things, right?
Yeah.
And now I think about it and why are we celebrating Christmas or why are we celebrating while other people are suffering or other people are dying and we watch them doing this, or at
Mhm.
least we're aware of it, even though we don't have much say in it. But why do we just I guess I'm not saying not celebrate, but also know that this is your reality right now, so be thankful. But this is
Mhm.
not always going to be your reality if you don't shift your perspective, if you don't see all humans as equals. There's going to be some time, or there's going to be a time where you are also not looked upon as an equal. And whenever that is, that you would not like how it feels. So I think, like you said, you really have to treat others like you want others to treat you.
Yeah. It's funny because it's interesting what retail therapy does to the
Oh, America.
American. It's like
I think that's what the
the
ceasefire
rest of the
happened.
world is
4 day
on.
ceasefire for
Yeah.
Black Friday shopping
Yeah.
special.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, hey man, why don't we chill out and get this deal on Calm? You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Or like buy this subscription or whatever, man. Like, yeah, Junior needs another Xbox. Cool.
Yep.
And like and then everything goes away for a minute.
Mm,
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's
yeah.
interesting. We are the consumers of the world.
Yeah. I wonder if so Santa or like the red and white, the colors, um when I saw them on the Palestinian flag,
Mm,
it hit a different way, right?
mm,
And so the point is you could have the same colors in different flags or in different symbols and in different things, but you could resonate with it in a completely different sense and in what you empathize or are compassionate more towards.
yeah.
I don't feel anyone is bad. I feel like people live in some kind of a bubble, and they don't want to accept that there's a possibility that their parents didn't know everything or that they don't know everything, or even future generations are not going to know everything, right? So I don't think they have that open mind, that open space where they can challenge their beliefs or what they have been introduced to or what they're seeing other people kind of think about. They don't have that capacity. They can only think from, if I think like this, my mom taught me this, my dad taught me this, my religion, my religion, quote unquote, because first of all, no religion says this, but my religion says this because some stupid person put up a website, saying that Jesus would want you to do this. Jesus would never want you to do that. Jesus would be like, I'm ashamed if he came down here seeing that you guys would be, and I'm not targeting anyone, you guys are all, everyone. I feel like all human beings are brothers and sisters in humanity. Forget the religion, forget the beliefs, right? But Jesus would be like, I'm ashamed. Like this is what you guys are doing in my name. Yeah, I think I want to die again. So, sorry. Yeah.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
Yeah,
Get me out of here
it's
again.
sad, it is very sad, and he's our prophet, so
Yeah,
there's
of
no
course.
disrespect, but talking about someone as a figure or talking about one of your heroes.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of what would Jesus do about this Palestinian situation.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I don't see a lot of
No,
turning of the cheek.
I saw that,
It's
and it said, "This is why you should be supporting Israel." Right now. I'm like, wow, kya tumhari thinking hai?
Yeah, no, turn the other cheek, man. And it's funny because like historically, Jesus was one who was betrayed by his own people.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. It is
It
interesting
is very interesting.
yeah, and for him to be like, oh, I want Israel to exist after they're the ones who helped like crucify me. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It is interesting.
It is super interesting, I think, and it's not even about
He
the
definitely
religion.
turned the other cheek on that one.
Yeah. It's definitely not even about religion right now, because I
Mhm.
think
It's
any
about
god,
humanity.
any god that you worship
Yeah,
would not be okay with
I
it.
agree.
Any god, or even conscience, or even science. You believe in science? Science is not
I
okay
believe in
with
science.
this.
I believe in science.
Even science is not okay with this, guys. This is like, literally ethnic cleansing.
It is, man.
And we say it in a fun manner because we have to be able to swallow the pill, and
It's
continue
ironic,
to,
man.
yeah, continue to see this every day. But we have to listen to this, and we have to talk about this, and we have to talk about what we can do about our flags, what we can recognize in other people, how symbols don't talk for everyone, on behalf of everyone.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people are moving around. I think sometimes people are finding their symbols.
I think this whole thing around Captain Red Flag is a person who is virtue signaling
Hmm.
and is actually murdering on the back end.
Hmm.
That's a red flag,
Beautiful.
man. That's a red flag. So stop doing that.
Yeah. Beautiful. So well said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Wrap it up.
I think so. I
I
don't know.
guess
Is there
so.
anything else to say? It's white supremacy. People are murdering for no reason. They know better. And I don't see any WWJDs out there anymore, man.
No,
I
I
don't
think, let
see.
me just see,
Yeah.
the reason why this episode was like super express is because I had my notes. So
Oh, that's good. Yeah, because we could just quickly get through
yeah,
through the
exactly.
points.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think a 45-minute episode is super I think it's way more effective,
I think
right?
so too.
And we're in and out and we can post it. If it's under 45 minutes, you can post it on Instagram.
I think
So
last time we did like an hour and 20 minutes or something. We kind
yeah.
of got carried away. Last time की हमारी topic बहुत ही passionate हो गया था, and I think even this one too. But at the same time, we are not trying to raise fingers or point fingers on any
Raise fingers.
raise flags. Sorry, point fingers. Sale. You got the point. But we're not trying to isolate
The finger
anyone.
point.
Even though you might believe whatever you believe, we still believe in humanity, and we hope that you guys promote humanity and do everything
I
for
think
the
people
sake
do,
of
man. They just don't
humanity.
realize what they're doing, right? I think people as a concept don't want other people to be murdered innocently. And then they go and make decisions that help
Yeah, I think
people get
defense
murdered.
plays a huge role in that, right? Being defensive plays a huge role in that. I think हमने guns भी इसीलिए इसी नाम पे खरीदी because
Pew
of
pew.
defense. अब तो जहाँ पे भी defense आता है ना, मुझे तो गुस्सा आता है literally, because like everybody wants to buy a gun for defense, and you're not even going to be able to reach your gun or like pull the trigger or anything अगर किसी ने तुम्हें already shot कर दिया तो. So what is the point of you
Dude, it's not
carrying the
that.
gun?
Here's the other thing that I
Yeah,
think about. Okay, you see all these people that are like, I want to exercise my Second Amendment right
yeah,
to
yeah,
own gun.
yeah.
All right, cool. Right to bear arms. Cool. Who's gonna come after you, bro?
Yeah.
If this thing goes south, right? It's the military, it's the
Mm.
US government. Now, who are you saluting? Salute the troops. Okay, cool. So you respect the troops, you salute
Exactly.
the troops. Okay, they're the ones that are going to be
You have
coming.
trust in them.
So now who you got? Who are you buying a gun
Huh.
for?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you think Rajesh wants your Ford F-150, bro? No, come on, man. Like, get out of here. Anyway,
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes we hide behind our flags too.
yes,
Yes.
Mhm.
Beautiful. I love
Right.
it. All right. मैंने कौन बनाई
Hey, Keds, I have a knock knock joke.
Oh.
Knock knock. You have to
Yeah.
answer. You have to answer in Hindi. Knock knock.
कौन है
Ice cream.
कौन है
Ice cream.
कौन है
Ice cream cone.
आइसक्रीम कौन किड्स की
Kids
आइसक्रीम
की ice cream cone.
हाँ, ये इस तरह नहीं मिलती लेकिन आज आप लोगों के लिए स्पेशल
Ice cream cone. Ice cream cone.
I got that. I got that like long ago. Okay, guys, we're signing off. This is DJ Enzi with Shan Ali Moladina. We'll see you next week with the Night Owls right here on Radio Zad, where your voice matters. Stay tuned and stay happy.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.